Okay, so Monique, what we're here today to do is go through the first couple of modules for your pull-ups course. So obviously you understand why we're doing the workplace training for your pull-ups course. What are the benefits to you?
To understand my job role better, to perform my job role effectively.
Yep, perfect. So we'll do two separate sessions today. The first one will be around managing the pool water quality. So we'll look at the documents and the recommendations that we use from New South Wales Health, and also the Palin test processes. We'll look at what we put into the computer to get that data back, and the facility guidelines that we utilise. Then the second step to that will be any chemical dosing that we need to do off the back of those results. We'll go through all of the PPE standards for doing that, and then we'll go through the practical demonstration of how to do the actual dosing. So are you okay with all of that?
Yes.
Yep. So you know where to find the facility guidelines for the dosing?
On our drive.
Yep. And the public swimming pool and spa pool advisory document from New South Wales Health?
That's saved on our drive or on New South Wales Health.
Excellent. All of your PPE requirements?
That's all on our drive, all on New South Wales Health.
Excellent.
And everywhere around the facility that I need it.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll kick off with doing the actual Palin test, and then we'll put the data into the computer and see where we land, and then we'll do the actual physical demonstration of the pool dosing.
All right.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so moving over to the Palin test, we're going to start with the indoor pool. So do you want to walk me through the steps that we've gone through for this process?
So the first step is collecting the water and taking the temperature.
Yep. Okay, let's head on out.
Water should be collected from elbow depth, and make sure that you're collecting
The correct amount of water from the right spot of the pool. Yep. So with our temperature, what are we looking for our standards for our indoor pool?
with the temperature or the chemicals?
Just for our temperature?
The temperature is usually set around 29, can't be higher than 31.
Yep.
Then that deems it a hydrotherapy, which it is not.
Perfect. Okay, so moving to the actual Palin test process now. Do you want to talk me through our testing for free chlorine first of all? What tablets are we using and how are we doing the process?
So we use the DPD1 tablet, which there is not one currently there. Which the DPD1 tablet tests the free chlorine, which is the good chlorine in the pool. We need to do a 10 ml sample. Always test a blank, which is just blank pool water.
Excellent. So can you explain to me, if we don't do the blanking, what's going to happen when we take our actual physical sample?
The reads won't be accurate.
Correct.
Crush up the tablet. It going pink indicates that there is chlorine in the pool. If it was clear, it would be not too good.
Yep. So you're looking for complete dissolution of the tablet in that sample?
Yeah.
Yep. And why are we placing the cover over the machine?
It stops any other airborne bacteria entering the test while we test it.
Perfect.
And it's reading at 2.4, which is a good read for the indoor pool. DPD3 tablet gets combined with the DPD1 tablet to mix together to test the combined chlorine.
Yep.
Which will then tell us the bad bacteria that's in the pool,
Excellent.
if there is any.
Yep.
So 4.4.
4.4. Yep.
Which that puts that at 2, which does indicate having some bad bacteria in there, but not too much. It's not overly bad.
And your next test is for pH. So do you want to talk me through why we're testing for pH and what we're looking for?
So the pH tests if the pool is too alkaline or too acidic. Acidic-y.
Yep.
It shouldn't be any lower than 7 because then it means the pool is too acidic-y. Is that the word?
Yes.
And if it is above about 7.8, it's too alkaline. It's the pH tablet. The phenol red. Green crusher. Yeah, the test shouldn't be too dark nor too light. Doesn't actually look too bad. 7.9.
7.9.
So my judgment was a little bit off.
All good. So now the next process, we're doing what with these figures?
We need to put them into our daily worksheet.
Okay, let's go do that. Okay, so moving to the daily worksheet, and we're entering the data in for just the indoor pool. So when we're getting a red cell, what does that mean to us, and what actions do we need to take?
The red means that an investigation needs to be completed because the reads aren't within the guidelines.
Yep, perfect.
So that was 29.1, 2.4, 4.4, 7.9.
Okay, so we can see here that we've got red cells for our combined chlorine and also our pH. So can you remember from our education up until this point where you're going to for directions on how to manage these red cells?
I would go to our water testing information, which links us to our drive.
Yep.
Which takes us to all the parameters that we need for the 25 indoor.
Perfect. So we've got a red result for combined chlorine. So what action do we need to take?
That's cleaning the filters, checking pump baskets, backwashing, lowering the pH, or shock dosing.
Okay, perfect. And with our pH?
That one there. So that is at 7.9, so we just need to add some acid, check the dosing machine, and check the acid drum.
Excellent. So the next step to this session will be the physical dosing of the pools. So we'll move to that now. Okay, so now we've completed all of the reads for the indoor pool. What's the next step?
Testing the outdoor pool.
Okay, excellent. Let's go test the outdoor pool. Okay, moving to the outdoor pool testing now. Do you want to talk me through what we're doing when we're collecting the water again in the outdoor?
Again, it needs to be collected from about elbow length. Temperature taken. This pool relies on the sun to get its warmth. So at the moment it's 25 degrees.
Okay, perfect. Do you want to talk me through, when we're talking about stability of our pH and our chlorine, what the difference is with our outdoor pool being exposed to the sun as opposed to our indoor pool, and how we compensate for the indoor pool?
So because the indoor pool isn't exposed to the sun, we have UV cells that run through the filters in that pool that help kill anything that the sun would kill in the outdoor pool.
Yep. And when we're monitoring our chlorine in that outdoor pool, given that it is exposed to UV, how do we stabilise that? What chemical are we using to stabilise that?
The cyanuric acid.
Excellent. Okay, so let's move to put these figures into the Palin test. Okay, so obviously our Palin test has turned off in the time that we've done the indoor pool reads. So what is our process for commencing our outdoor pool reads?
We need to make sure that these are cleaned from the indoor ones.
Yep.
And then the process starts pretty much from the top again. So we turn it on. We have to test a blank from the pool water. Another 10 mils. And then we start with the DPD one again, testing the free chlorine.
I just want to check there that you've completed a blanking before doing your actual sample test.
Yes. There's the
Beautiful.
blank. That's all crushed up. So that's sitting at 3. And the DPD 3, again testing the Taedel chlorine.
Four 4.3.
Yep. And then the pH. So phenol red. Seven
7.75. Okay, we'll move to entering those into the data sheet. Okay, so we've got red cells obviously for our outdoor pool as well. We'll see, looking at the reads from this morning also, so we've got a red on our calcium reads for both our 50 metre outdoor pool and our indoor pool, and our cyanuric. So do you want to tell me what actions we need to take to rectify those results for the 50 metre at 93? What do we need to do?
We need to add calcium into the balance tank.
Yep. And for the indoor pool sitting at 30 for calcium, what do we need to do?
Again, add calcium into the balance tank of the indoor.
Yep. And for our cyanuric acid, as we discussed outside again, what are we using cyanuric acid for?
To stabilise the chlorine because of the sun.
Perfect. So if it's sitting at 24, what is our rectification measure?
35.
Yep. Yep. So what do we need to do?
Add a bag of cyanuric acid.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're looking at preparing now for the chemical delivery to the pool to rectify the results that we've had in the Palin test. So when we are looking at dosing calcium chloride and cyanuric acid in particular, given the weight of those things, what do we need to take into consideration when we're taking those out to deliver the chemical?
The manually handling expectations.
Yep.
Yeah, using a trolley.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so talk me through our chemical and what we're looking at here.
So to stabilise the calcium, we'll put in the calcium chloride. And to stabilise the cyanuric acid, we need to put in a bag of cyanuric, which is up in the 50 metre pump. And then we have our hydrochloric acid for the indoor pool and dry acid for the outdoor.
Okay, so in terms of PPE, when we're dealing with calcium chloride, what are the dangers with that chemical? Do we have any?
Not from my understanding, no.
Perfect. When you're dealing with your cyanuric acid?
The cyanuric, from my understanding, we just need gloves, just in case.
Yep,
But,
perfect.
Yeah.
Now, when we're dosing our hydrochloric acid, what have we got recorded on here?
That it's corrosive.
Yep. So
is a
what
danger.
measures are we taking?
We need to wear the full PPE, the gloves, the mask, the apron, the goggles.
Yep. So when we're talking about our PPE, where do we find it and how do we know what we're doing?
It's all in here. Explains what's on there. And if you need any information on how to use it, it's all in our drive and all those documents.
Yep, perfect. So let's say we're going to go and dose the hydrochloric acid now. What PPE are you using?
Apron, gloves, the respiratory mask,
Yep.
and the goggles.
Yep, perfect. Okay, we'll move down to dosing. Okay, Monique, we're going to move to dosing of the indoor pool to counteract. Which one are we doing now?
The calcium.
Calcium for the indoor pool. Okay, so talk me through the process.
We're going to take one of these calcium chloride bags down to the balance tank using the trolley.
Perfect. So we're using the trolley so that we're not using our back to lift because we've got a 25 kilo bag. And we're not going to get through there. And we keep the balance tank area locked because...
Don't want someone falling in the balance tank.
Correct. So what other safety measures do we need to keep in mind when we're dealing with the balance tank? Is it deemed to be a confined space?
Yes.
Yes. So when we've got work completed in the balance tank with external providers like plumbers, what do we need to have in place? So we need a spotter.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why are we using a spotter?
Because somebody shouldn't be down here by themselves.
Yep. What are our dangers with the balance tank?
It being a very confined space.
Yep.
Full of water at that as well.
Yep. And when we're dosing, you've obviously got chemical fumes coming up at you, particularly when you're using the hydrochloric acid, so that's why we're using the respirator mask. But while we're using calcium chloride, do we need our respirator mask? Perfect. All right, take me through your dosing.
Cut open the bag. Got work. bubble line. Any question?
Perfect. So we'll review those reads for the closed reads. Yep. Okay, moving to the cyanuric acid dosing for the outdoor pool. It's got a bit of water in it, but we also did a backwash 2 days ago. There's no flow. Okay, so preparing for dosing dry acid to the outdoor pool. We have respirator mask on, full length apron and elbow length gloves, and also safety goggles. So this process is a 2-person lift because we've got a 25 kilo bag of dry acid going into the bisulfate tank just above hip height. So I won't be able to video this because I'm obviously the second person, but this is the process for the dry acid dosing of the outdoor pool. Okay, so dosing of cyanuric acid into the outdoor pool. Talk me through this, Monique. Where are we putting the cyanuric acid and why?
This one just goes straight into the leaf trap because it gives it the best spot to go straight through the gutters.
Okay, perfect. And how's that different to dosing straight to the balance tank?
The balance tank, it takes it longer to get it into the pool circulating.
Okay.
This way it's a bit more effective.
And in terms of PPE, what are we looking at?
The cyanuric acid doesn't really give off any vapors or anything, so we just stood up in the gloves and the apron just in case.
Okay, excellent. Let's dose. Perfect. So we'll check back in when we check the closing reads this afternoon.